Vishnupad Paramhamsa Pariprajakacharya Asto Trasata Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Pariprajakacharya Asto Trasata Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. No. Hare Krishna. So we welcome you on the most auspicious occasion of Sri Gaur Purnima. Two of our greatest festivals in the year are Sri Radhastami and Sri Krishna Janmastami. And Chaitanya Charitamrita describes that Krishna, in order to expand his pleasure, manifested himself as Radha and Krishna. And then the two, Radha and Krishna, again became one as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radhastami, the name Astami means the eighth day, sort of. So on the Astami, the moon is like half on one side, and 15 days before that is Janmastami, and so the moon is also half, the other half. And then the two half moons have combined on the Purnima, Gaur Purnima. So it's a most auspicious celebration. So when we were in Calcutta with Srila Prabhupada around 1971, we were living in the same place that the devotees have now, 3 Albert Road. And the landlord was a Bengali gentleman named Mr. Singh Roy. And Mr. Singh Roy had a talk with Srila Prabhupada's disciple, Achyutananda Swami. And in their conversation, Mr. Singh Roy put forth the theory that first Chaitanya Mahaprabhu existed, and then from him came Radha and Krishna. And he also said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is greater than Radha and Krishna, just like a rasagula is greater than milk and sugar. So he had his theories, and he was quite forceful about presenting them. So Achyutananda came to Srila Prabhupada to ask him about what the landlord had said, and I also happened to be in the room. And Srila Prabhupada said that first Radha and Krishna exist, and then comes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The same example that Mr. Singroy gave. First the milk and sugar exist, and then they combine and become rasgula. So then Achyutananda asked, well, who's greater? Now, in response to that question, Srila Prabhupada pointed to a picture on the wall of his room that showed Srimati Radharani sort of seated on an elevated position in what is technically called man. Man means, like, Prabhupada translated as like sulkiness, sulky anger. It's a high stage of Mahabhav. And Krishna is sort of kneeling at her feet, asking her to give up her man. So who is the greatest? Srila Prabhupada said Srimati Radharani is the greatest. And then he pointed to another picture of Krishna carrying the shoes of Nanda Maharaj on his head. And Srila Prabhupada said, Nanda Maharaj is the greatest, because Krishna is carrying his shoes on his head. And then he said, the devotee is the greatest. Now that is a very deep conclusion, and a significant conclusion, because Srimati Radharani is the Hladini Shakti, the pleasure potency of Krishna. And from the Hladini Shakti, Krishna enjoys pleasure in reciprocating with his devotees, and the devotees also experience pleasure in engaging in devotional service to Krishna. And Krishna comes under the control of his devotees, not exactly under the control of his devotees, but under the control of their love. That's how powerful love of Godhead is. And that love of Godhead is very rare, but it was distributed and is being distributed freely by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore, he was addressed by Srila Rupa Goswami, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tvishe Namaha. So, Namo Mahavadanyaya. Vadanya means munificent. He addressed Lord Chaitanya, you are the most munificent incarnation of Godhead, because you are distributing freely what no incarnation has ever given before, and that is Krishna Prema, love for Krishna, Krishna Prema Pradayate. And Krishna says that he will, this verse is also quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that he will award material opulence and even liberation very easily. But he will not award bhakti so easily, because by bhakti he becomes controlled. That's how powerful bhakti is, pure bhakti, prema bhakti. And Srila Jiva Goswami comments that Krishna is speaking like that to establish the superior position of bhakti over karma, jnana, and yoga. But really, he likes to be controlled by his devotees. So he said, well, I give the other things easily, but not bhakti, because when I give bhakti, I come under the control of the devotee, but actually he likes to come under the control of the devotee. But he says that just to show how rare and precious bhakti is. And that is being distributed, was distributed, and is being distributed freely by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And practically everything in this movement, the Hare Krishna movement, if we trace it, it will go back to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All of our practices, the practices that Srila Prabhupada has given us, are coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in our pranam mantra to Srila Prabhupada, which we sing, I sang it in my little kirtan, Gaura Vani Pracharine. Gaura means Lord Chaitanya, and Vani means words, instructions. Pracharine. Srila Prabhupada is preaching Gaura Vani, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So we have an immeasurable debt, of course, first to Srila Prabhupada, who brought this all to us, and then through disciplic succession to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, why did Lord Chaitanya descend? There are internal reasons and external reasons. The internal reasons are that he wanted to experience the glories of Srimati Radharani's love for him. He wanted to experience the sweetness of himself, Krishna, that Srimati Radharani experiences. And he wanted to experience the... Can anyone help me here? Well, I can... Yeah. I'll just read it. It's so beautiful. It's very confidential, actually. Anyway, you said it. That's good enough. So those are like the internal reasons. And the external reasons were that he wanted to introduce the Sankirtan movement, Yuga Dharma. He wanted to fulfill the position of the Yuga avatar, and he wanted to respond to the loud cries of Advaita Acharya, who was asking him to descend. Advaita Acharya himself is Mahavishnu. He's all-powerful. But he was in the mood of a devotee. And in the mood of a devotee, he felt compassion for all the living entities. And he felt incapable of delivering them himself. He thought only if Krishna comes personally, he will be able to deliver them. And thus he prayed, he read a verse that Krishna sells himself to someone who worships him with Ganges water and tulsi leaves. So he began to worship his Shalagram Shila with Ganges water and tulsi leaves and cry out very deeply for Krishna to appear. And thus he did appear as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And on various occasions in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that I was resting peacefully on the Anantashesh in the milk ocean. But Nara, that was like his affectionate name for Advaita Acharya, he disturbed me from my peaceful rest and made me come down here. So this is a very important point, that yes, there are 4 ages, Satyayuga, Tretayuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, and they repeat in cycles, like the 4 seasons repeat. And in each age, a different method of self-realization or God-realization is recommended. So in Satya Yuga, it is a meditation. In Treta Yuga, it's Vedic sacrifices. In Dwapara Yuga, it's elaborate temple worship. And in Kali Yuga, it's the chanting of the holy names. So in every Kali Yuga, there's a Yuga avatar, an incarnation for the age. But it's not always Lord Chaitanya. It's only once in a day of Brahma, which is something like 3. That's what I was thinking. Thank you. Yeah. 4.3 billion years. So once in a day of Brahma, 4.3 billion years, Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, comes in Dwapara Yuga. And once in a day of Brahma, once in 4,300,000,000 years, in the Kali Yuga, immediately following the Dwapara Yuga in which Krishna descends, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descends. So this is a very, very rare occurrence. And we are amazingly blessed and fortunate to be living during this time, just 500 odd years after Lord Chaitanya descended. And it was Lord Chaitanya's desire, prediction and desire, Prithiviteya Chejoto Nagaradigram, Sarvatra Prachor Hoibe Marnam. That in every town and village, in every country of the world, my name or Krishna's name will be preached. So when Lord Chaitanya made this utterance, some 500 years ago, it seemed impossible. And even the followers of Lord Chaitanya, down to the first half of the last century, could not believe that it could happen literally. They thought that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking in some poetic, metaphorical way, but not that literally people in every town and village of the world would chant his name. But this was also predicted in a book called Chaitanya Mangala by Lochan Das Thakur. Many of us are familiar with Lochan Das Thakur because he wrote the beautiful song Paramakaruna. So Lochan Das Thakur wrote that there was like an exchange that that the chanting would be spread to every town and village of the world. And so how is that possible? So the Lord said, I will send my Senapati Bhakta. So Sena means army, and Pati means like the controller, the protector. And in a more colloquial translation, Senapati means commander-in-chief, like the commander-in-chief. So he said, I will send my Senapati Bhakta, my commander-in-chief devotee. So this also, points to Srila Prabhupada, that he was that Senapati Bhakta. He was the one who fulfilled the seemingly impossible prediction that the holy name would be spread to every town and village of the world. So how fortunate are we to be connected with him, either directly or very closely. It's amazing. So we should take, obviously, we should take advantage of this incredible good fortune that has been offered to us. And especially chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, Lord Chaitanya says that of all the processes, all the 9 processes of devotional service, the chanting of the holy name is the best. And therefore, this is the Hare Krishna movement, in Srila Prabhupada's own words. we are popularly known as the Hare Krishna people. So we should chant as much as possible. In one talk that Srila Prabhupada gave here in LA, he said, if you've got time, chant Hare Krishna. Don't waste time. Don't speak nonsense. If you've got time, chant Hare Krishna. But another very important part of Srila Prabhupada's mission, as we know, is book distribution. In fact, what we know is of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is really coming from Srila Prabhupada's books, especially Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And that mood of giving, this Mahavaranyaya, Srila Prabhupada said that all of his representatives in the temples, like the temple presidents, they should reflect the same mood of munificence, of generosity. And so we do that by giving people the holy name, by giving people Srila Prabhupada's books, by giving them prasad. And festivals, the Rath Yatra festival in Los Angeles is probably the best in the world. And people get everything at that festival. And that's another thing, that Srila Prabhupada gave us. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself observed the Rath Yatra in Puri, but he gave us the Rath Yatra. And, but it's somehow or other it's all connected to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I'll read one verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is from Srimad Bhagavatam, and which predicts the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are other statements in the Shastras that predict Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. And so it's not just a sentiment that we accept him as Krishna. Ordinary people, they would regard him as a great saint of India. But he's actually Krishna in the mood of Radharani. And so here's one of the verses. So please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. To save time, I'll proceed. So this appears in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 3, text 52, and it's a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam. It's so purifying. We'll do a little more responsive. Krishna Varnam, Krishna Tvisha Akrishnam Saanga Upanga Astra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayai Yajanti Jantihi Sumedasa. If you can follow, please do. Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Sumedasa. Translation. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So all of you here are worshiping this incarnation of Godhead, Chaitanya, by a performance of Sankirtan, by chanting the holy names. So you are certified as intelligent. If anyone says anything to the contrary, you hold up the book and you say, look, it says right here that people who worship the incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting the holy names are sumedasa, very intelligent. And there's another word, contrary word, alphamedasa, which means less intelligent or unintelligent. And the Bhagavad Gita uses that word to describe people who worship demigods. Yeah, people who worship the demigods are alphamedasa, and people who worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by Sankirtan are sumedasa. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.532. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this verse in his commentary on the Bhagavatam known as the Krama Sandarbha, wherein he says that Lord Krishna also appears with a golden complexion. That golden complexion is Radharani's. That golden Lord Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, who is worshipped by intelligent men in this age. That is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by Garga Muni, who said that although the child Krishna was blackish, he also appears in 3 other colors, red, white, and yellow. So when Krishna appeared, as was the tradition, Nanda Maharaj invited the family priest, Gargamuni, to do his astrology. And Gargamuni made this statement, which is very significant, that he is blackish, is Krishna, but he appears in 3 other ages in different colors. Red, white, and yellow. So the red and white are eliminated because they are in Sattva Yuga and Treta Yuga, and the black, that was Krishna. So the yellow is the only one left, and that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did not exhibit the remaining color, yellow gold, until he appeared as Lord Chaitanya, who is also known as Gaura Hari. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that Krishna Varnam means Sri Krishna Chaitanya. See, Varnam has two meanings. One meaning of Varnam is category. Like we have Varnashram Dharma. So there's different categories, Varnas, Varnam. And Varna, another meaning comes from Varnayat, which means to describe. So this incarnation is always Krishna Varnam. That means he's in the same category as Krishna. And he's also always describing Krishna or glorifying Krishna. Lord Chaitanya always chants the holy name of Krishna and describes it also. And because he is Krishna himself, whoever meets him will automatically chant the holy name of Krishna and later describe it to others. Now, another very important instruction of Lord Chaitanya's, which he gave 3 times in 3 successive years, when the residents of Kulinagram met him at Jagannath Puri and asked him what is their duty. And every year, Lord Chaitanya gave the same answer. And this is very important for us. And that is to chant the holy names and to serve the devotees. And each year, the residents would ask Lord Chaitanya, how do we recognize a devotee? And the first year he said that anyone who utters the name of Krishna once is a devotee. Then the next year, same exchange, how do we recognize a devotee? Lord Chaitanya said, anyone who is always chanting the holy names is a devotee. And then the third year when they asked, he replied, anyone who just by being seen by others inspires them to chant the holy name is a devotee. And Srila Prabhupada in his commentary explains that the first definition is of a beginning devotee, Kanista. But he's chanted the holy name once, so he's considered a devotee. And he should be served. Second, who's constantly chanting the holy name is an advanced devotee, Madhyama, and he should certainly be served. He means he or she. And someone who just by being seen inspires people to chant is an Uttama devotee, Maha Bhagavat. And Srila Prabhupada was like that. I love hearing stories of devotees who, for example, they saw Srila Prabhupada for the first time at the airport when he arrived. And without having it in their mind to do so, in a premeditated way, they just find themselves bowing down and crying and chanting. So that someone just by being seen, he inspires people to chant. So we are so fortunate to be born in this Kali Yuga, and to be associated with Srila Prabhupada, who is the fulfillment of the prophecies of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also others, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So yeah, we should really take advantage of their mercy by accepting the practices of Krishna consciousness and also sharing Krishna consciousness with others. That is the combination. One alone is not enough. As it's said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that some people preach, but they don't behave very nicely, and some people behave very nicely, but they don't preach. But that particular verse was spoken in relation to Haridas Thakur, our Namacharya, but that he does both. So we should practice and preach. We should relish Krishna consciousness and share it with others. So I'll conclude with one of my favorite statements of Srila Prabhupada. And in this very brief sequence of a few sentences, Srila Prabhupada describes the whole process of Krishna consciousness. He said that to approach Radha and Krishna, we need the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we need the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we have to approach people like Jagai and Madhan. So it begins like that. Approaching people on the street with books or with Harinam or at festivals. Yeah, it's amazing. But anyway, so yeah, we've been blessed by the best, and we should share our good fortune with others, and especially through the chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. So we do have a few minutes, if any of you have any questions or comments. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. His godbrothers were also in doubt about how this mission of Mahaprabhu would be fulfilled.
Yeah.
And so Srila Prabhupada was in a meeting one day with them, and they were saying, how will this happen? And his one statement shows that he understood exactly that he was that person who would come to the West and fulfill this mission. He said to them, "You doubt?"
Perfect, yeah. Yeah.
Another
yes.
question.
Yeah, that's okay. Please.
Maharaj, what would you tell somebody if he or she would say that these are all too good to be true? It's like, what's the answer for that?
What would I tell someone who says it's too good to be true?
Yeah, like Lord Chaitanya appearing once in a day of Brahma and distributing this rare gem. That would be the love of God, right?
Well, I would tell them to try it. They say that the test of the pudding is in the eating. Yeah, they should try it. Tell them if it doesn't work after a month, we'll give them their money back. Oh, yes. Sorry.
There are so many other, thank you. There are so many other paths out there, and gurus and teachers that come, and they're also doing kirtan and claiming that they practice bhakti, and they're chanting, and they're even chanting Hare Krishna mantra. And when I pointed that out to some devotees that even who we would call, I guess, Mayavadis, are chanting Hare Krishna, the response I get often is that, but they're not chanting it purely. So, in essence, it doesn't count. And so I'm a little baffled or confused whether, even though they don't believe in Krishna consciousness, they don't accept Srila Prabhupada, they accept their different gurus, but they're chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, not even knowing what they're saying. Does that count as chanting?
Well, in Srila Prabhupada's famous talk or essay on chanting Hare Krishna, he says the chanting, however, should be heard from the lips of a pure devotee. Just like milk is very good, but milk touched by the lips of a serpent causes poisonous effects. So when we chant with someone or hear someone chant, they come with a certain package. And you know, the chanting may be all right, but, you know, more comes with it. And that's why there's that statement, milk touched by the lips of a serpent causes poisonous effects. Now, there was a devotee who, he joined ISKCON during Prabhupada's time, and then he left during Prabhupada's time. And he was critical of devotees. He didn't like their mood. He didn't think they were mellow enough. So, but Srila Prabhupada was like writing them letters, you know, sort of positive letters. So they were in Australia, that area, and Hari Suri was the GBC of the area then. So he asked Srila Prabhupada, are they bona fide? And Srila Prabhupada said, no, they're not bona fide. And Hari Suri said, but you write them such nice letters. And Srila Prabhupada said, they're chanting Hare Krishna, so I want to encourage them. So we want to encourage everyone to chant, you know, whatever they are. But yeah, we do want to be careful about associating with them intimately. I mean, they're Mayavadis in particular. Others they're in a different category. They might just be sort of ignorant. Mayavadis are in a different category. And out of so many examples, I'm just thinking of one. There was like a conference at Kurukshetra, and different people were invited to speak, including Srila Prabhupada. And some Mayavadis were also speaking. And Brahmananda Prabhu was sitting next to Srila Prabhupada on the platform while some Mayavadi was speaking. And he felt very uncomfortable. And afterwards he said to Srila Prabhupada, you know, we're in Kurukshetra, it's such a holy place, and I'm right next to you. You know, my spiritual master is a pure devotee, but I feel so uncomfortable. And he said, yes, it's because of the Mayavadis. You know? So, anyway, yeah. But just on that point that the chanting should be heard from the lips of a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada said that anyone who's heard it from him, and then someone hears it from that person, it's like they're hearing it from him. And then if someone again hears it from that person who heard it from a person who heard it from Srila Prabhupada, it's like they're hearing it from him. So not only are you intelligent, you're pure devotees, and you should take the holy name to every town and village of the world and every Jagai and Madhai. Hare Krishna.